Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering. Here we have actually going to be Death and Taxes versus Ruby Storm. So go ahead and ignore the text at the top. Got a Chrome Mox enabling a Ruby Medallion, and that will potentially be countered by a Thalia, kind of negating the Ruby Medallion if Matt gets another turn. I'm sorry. I don't know who's playing Death and Taxes here. Matt is actually the Ruby Storm player. Tracking Lion's Eye Diamond. I'll just refer to the decks instead of the players' names. Attempt to tracking Lion's Eye Diamond. And it's going to be a Reforge the Soul. Death and Taxes not going to have really anything to say. Especially game one. Post board, occasionally, Death and Taxes will have access to Mindbreak Trap, though I'm not a big fan of the card in the deck. Rite of Flame. Unfortunately, Ruby Medallion doesn't have any synergy with Rite of Flame. And Spirit of the Labyrinth. Wow. Ruby Storm showing multiple copies of Reforge the Soul in hand as Spirit of the Labyrinth starts eroding the life total. This could be very bad. A lot of the stronger lines are going to involve draw 7s, Reforge the Soul, Echo of Aeons, Burning Wish for those cards. Death and Taxes in the driver's seat here. Fruiter of the Guard, tutor up Sanctum Prelate. Interesting card here. I'm not even sure what you go for. I mean, I suppose two. Got a Bergie. Played as the Horn. This does get around card drawing. Not actually drawing cards. Those Manamorphose is not exciting. Could be worse. I mean, with Bergie and Ruby Medallion on board, they're not terrible. But man, getting extra cards in hand when you've got a Horn out, very strong. Jessica's Will. Exiling more cards. Echo not going to be super helpful here. Ah, yes, there was no Bergie out previously, now joining in. Big storm count, lots going on, but we out of gas here? It looks that way. Spirit of the Labyrinth, just a brutal addition to Death and Taxes. Been around for a while, from Born of the Gods. A little concerned about it when it got printed, but at the time, didn't seem to be particularly adopted. Does seem to see more play now. Perhaps after Narset and Leovold have proven just how strong it is to be able to shut down your opponent's draw engines. Sanctum Prelate, and it looks like a little bit of a think here. I would go with 2, shutting off Burning Wish. Likely path to victory. Burning Wishing for a Tendrils or a Grape Shot. Jessica's Will and Burning Wish. Continuing to fight here. Not actually sure what this Ruby Storm deck will do with the Sanctum Prelate on board. naming too. Not actually sure how it can win if it has a main deck win condition. We have Solitude clearing the Burgi. And Flicker Wisp. Getting rid of the Horn for now. Plenty of damage piling on. Burgi will come back as a creature. Yeah, you get to choose when you're casting the card if you want to cast it as the other side. If you flicker, it does not come in as the Planeswalker. Ephemerate would be very interesting with Tybalt, if that were the case. Jessica's Will. One more time here. Defense Grid, Rite of Flame, and not a whole lot of help. Casting the Rite of Flame. Oh yeah, there's that flashback card. Who's forget the name of it. Let me know in the comments. When you flash it back, you get to cast the spells without paying its mana cost. Horn. And more damage about to come in here. Close to lethal. Burgi can actually slow things down. Definitely don't want to allow for any raids that go against you. Probably just swinging with Flicker Wisp here would be my guess. Oh no, there's a Karakas on board. We're probably going to see Burgi bounced. Just swing for 9 damage. No, just 3. All right. Perhaps not wanting to bounce Burgi as it can turn into additional cards off of the Horn. Now Burgi gets bounced. Gonna push through lethal. Oh, Cauldron Complete just for kicks. Getting the new Modern Horizons 2 card on camera. And we are on to the next one as Death and Taxes drags that one into the deep waters. Ruby Storm will have the play. Other runes not super useful here. Go away. Neared Explosives at 1. Aether Vial being played right into it. I'm not sure what to make of the explosives there. Shattering Spree. A lot of answers so far from Ruby Storm. Not what I would anticipate. There are no wrong questions, only wrong answers when it comes to trying to control a game of Magic. Here we see Spirit of the Labyrinth. Viable threat. However, Engineer Explosives not going to be able to answer it. Aether Vial being played right into this Explosives at 1. It can get cleared. Burgi costing 1 less thanks to the Ruby Medallion. 3/3 body that may be willing to trade with Spirit. Unlikely to happen. Solitude. Clearing the Burgi and 3 damage going away. Stoneforge Mystic shows up. See if it ends up being the Batterskull or the Cauldron Complete. Really haven't played Death and Taxes since the printing of Cauldron Complete. Some matchups it's got to be preferable. It is a faster clock with haste. Destructible makes it more difficult to deal with in some matchups. Batterskull is a very grindy card, though. The ability to return it by paying 3 mana and replay it off of the Stoneforge Mystic gives some inevitability to many of the lines that Death and Taxes can find itself in. And a EE for 0. Rape Shot. Just taking out the Stoneforge. Oh, would have been nice. Get some extra storm there, just anything. Enabling the clearing of the Spirit of the Labyrinth. Been fantastic. And this first EE, feeling really bad. Valia has been recruited. Shows up, and this is not looking good. Serious clock. Significant disruption. A couple of answers that don't hit the mark. Explosives at 1. Only capable of destroying the Aether Vial when there's a couple of 2-drops on board that would very much like to be removed. The perspective of the Ruby Storm player. 8 life left. Just a couple of turns to get out of this. A lot to ask. May only be 1 turn left as there's a Vial on 3. Got to imagine there's a pretty good chance that a Flicker Wisp is ready to go. If there's anything. Nope, nothing. Flicker Wisp, one of the only cards that would have made sense to still be in hand. Oh, and we see Mindbreak Trap just chilling for the Death and Taxes player. Mother of Runes put to the bottom of the library at the beginning of the game now. Got one showing up at the very end. Just to see the handshake as Ruby Storm is bested by Death and Taxes.